Hi,
And
how
we
are
back.
you?
Hi, how's it
Hi,
going?
how are you? Hi, how are you?
Welcome to another episode of the Are We Recording Podcasts. We're the two coldest podcast hosts in all of podcasting. It's the young Rottweiler, Ethan Hamilton, and I'm 007 Gage Sutton. Thank y'all so much for joining us for another episode. And we're starting it kind of low key because, I'm just kidding. We are starting it lit. You know why, E?
Please tell the people. They must have known it because they're not living under a rock.
They cannot be living under a rock because if you listen to music in general, just ever, the creator of music just released his newest album.
The creator. Because
He's better than Mozart. He's better than
Beethoven.
Prince, Michael Jackson, Beethoven, all of these guys, man. Who can touch him? I'm talking about Playboi Carti, of course. Ethan, he finally dropped I Am Music, the long-awaited release. We've gotten it after years of speculation, a lot of trolling from Carti too. And I just want to get your thoughts, man. Is it living up to the hype, do you think?
It's hard to live up to a project that's been teased for 5 years. Like, I don't know if any artist has done it. I mean, I feel like when you have that big of such a discrepancy between projects, sometimes expectations get built too high. For example, when Kendrick went on that 3-4 year hiatus between Damn and Mr. Morale, a lot of people felt disappointed with Mr. Morale and really weren't pleased with it. But it didn't take away from the fact that it wasn't a good project. And the same thing with I Am Music. I feel like some people who weren't Carti fans but were like kind of adjacent to it might have had these high expectations, especially with the snippets and the songs that they heard the past couple of years. But at the same time, I honestly really, really like this project. I know 30 tracks is a lot, but the runtime isn't terrible. The runtime is, what is it, an hour 14, hour 15?
Yeah.
It's not bad.
Man, I'm in the exact same boat. I really like this album. And I think you put it like perfectly. It's hard to live up to the hype that this album had built over the years and the aura that Carti had built around the release of this album. Which, by the way, the fact that he said he was going to release it on Friday and then decided to like wait till 8 a.m. to release it was hilarious because everyone stayed up till 3 a.m. waiting for that shit.
Don't say everybody. I am from the school of Kanye West and Deland albums, and Playboi Carti is definitely his son when it comes to that. So I knew what time it was when I saw Spotify posting like the actual promo video for it. That was, I think, the first time where I was like, you know what, this project could actually be real. Like, they could actually be coming out pretty soon because I think it was, I don't know if it was you, but it felt kind of sudden that Carti announced it.
Yeah, a little. I mean, I think we had heard or seen tweets leading up to it like in the last week or two, but yeah,
even
I
then,
guess
that's pretty sudden, like a week or so. Like,
yeah,
I don't even think it was that. Maybe in like 5 days or so. You know what I'm saying?
I think he was
Like,
telling Kai Cenat that he was still like finishing the album while like he was talking to him.
Yeah, that type of stuff drives me insane because it's like I didn't stay up till 2 a.m. to wait for it to drop. I was like, you know, I know what type of time he's on. If it's gonna be created, it'll be done before I wake up or when I
Would you
wake up.
judge me?
So
Would you judge me if I stayed up till
yes,
3?
I would,
Hoping
because
for
you've done this before. We've done this before. There's no point
Yeah.
in doing this again.
I'm
Like,
just
you know how
easily
these guys are.
manipulated. I don't know.
Yeah, you must be. You must be, because I don't know how you felt for this if you did stay up, because I didn't. Like I said, I knew my lesson. Staying up for I remember staying up for Life of Pablo with Kanye a few times. Donda, like I learned
Donda was a pain, dude. I remember Donda.
I learned my lesson.
Oh man,
I learned my lesson.
Yeah, I guess.
And Carti even last year was talking about Friday, and nothing came on Friday. So I don't even want to. I know what type of time it was, but I was really, really surprised to see it drop that morning. Didn't it drop at what, 5, 6 in the morning?
Something like that. Like I think it was a little later, maybe like 6 or 7, maybe 8. But yeah, it was like early in the morning, and Yeah, just funny how it all played out. But let's talk about the music, because I feel like Cardi had released the features, or I guess like some of the people that were going to be featured on the album. But when he released the picture, he had one of the names blanked out, and there was a lot of speculation about who that could be. We ended up finding out it's Kendrick Lamar, and he's on 3 tracks on this album, not
Yes,
just one. He's on 3, and
the 3 are Mojo Jojo, Backdoor, and then Good Credit.
yeah. Which one was your favorite of the 3? Do you think?
Backdoor is probably my favorite out of the 3. Even though I thought his verse was solid on um pardon me, his verse
Good
was solid
credit.
on Good Credit. He wasn't dissing Drake at all, by the way. I don't know how people got that. Like I've seen a lot of clips of people using like clickbaiting saying that oh such and such is reacting to Kendrick dissing Drake on the Cardi album. I don't think he mentions him, not really, not once. But I appreciate his ad libs on Mojo Jojo. But a good Backdoor is probably my favorite track out of the 3.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I don't know. I go back to Good Credit more than anything. I just I like Kendrick when he's rapping. I don't know, just a little more carefree like that. And yeah, it was really interesting to hear him with Cardi too. I didn't expect this at all. Did anyone really expect a Kendrick feature, let alone 3 on a Playboi Carti album? And
No,
how do
no.
how do real Cardi fans feel about this?
That's I guess the question to ask them. You know what I mean? I don't think any one of us are like stands like that. But I would say both of us are fans of Playboi Carti.
Yeah, for sure. Not
But
vamps. I would say like we don't,
no, no,
we
we
don't do
not no
the
vamps like that. Shout out to some vamps that we know. But I did enjoy this project a lot. I thought Kendrick. I continue to say this. I low key might need a little EP if we get it between Kendrick and Cardo Got Wings, because from Cardo producing Euphoria, and I think they have a couple other tracks if I'm not mistaken. But he did a couple of these tracks too. I think he did Good Credit. I think he did Mojo Jojo.
hmm.
So
Oh, this was also
I
the first Cardi album without a Pierre production credit.
yes, yes, I thought for sure we are gonna get
Which
Pierre Bourne. Uh, to go back to what I was saying a second, Cardo produced Euphoria and Family Ties.
oh wow, okay, I didn't realize he had produced Family Ties too.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
yeah,
So
Cardo's got got some shit on his belt then.
yeah, no. So I honestly
Hey
I like the marriage between the two and the little snippets that we've heard.
man, we got so into the Playboi Carti album, and rightfully so. There's a lot of hype around it that we totally forgot. We gotta plug our channel, man. And if you guys have stuck around so far, we thank you. We appreciate y'all sticking around for this Playboi Carti album review. But if you're interested in listening to more of us talking sports, all of the pop culture stuff, make sure you hit subscribe. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, all that good stuff. We post daily. And yeah, tell your friends about our recording, because we're a
We
good
almost at
time.
200.
And
We're almost at
yeah,
200. We're 5 away from 200. It's been a minute. Took us a good little while, but we're almost there.
hey,
So
we're cooking, man. And just stuff like this is what we talk about. If you just want to hear two bros kicking it, talking hip hop, we talk sports. We have all those NFL videos. We'll have a lot of NFL draft, and we'll have NBA at the end of this video. So hey, all that good stuff. Make sure you're subscribed.
but back to the Cardi review. How did you feel about him including some of the songs we heard last year, like Hood by Air and Evil Jordan?
I'd like it. I mean, these are songs that people were really excited for, and the fact that he included them in the album is, I think, good, because again, those were 2 of the main snippets that really got people excited for this album. And sometimes you'll see that an artist will, a la Kanye West, completely either leave it off the album or change it so much that it doesn't even sound like the same song. But I like that Cardi kept it pretty similar. And yeah, just I actually made it a part of the album. Like, people are going to complain that it's 31 tracks, but I'm like, at the end of the day, we know what this was going to be. It's not going to
Yeah.
be super dense in content. It's going to be Playboi Carti with these crazy beats and him doing his weird. I love the thing I really like about this album is like the constant switch between the baby voice and like his like dark, like his deeper, raspier, like
Hey, but he
kind of
knew not to go in
cadence.
that deep Cardi voice with Future
Oh
on
yeah,
yeah, he knew where to go and where not to. But
on
to talk about
charge them hoes a fee. Yeah, right.
yeah. But honestly, talk about the features. I think the features were pretty good on this album.
Oh yeah,
I really we talked about Kendrick, but Yo Man's The Weeknd gave him a hit on Rather Lie. That is a certified hit. We're gonna be hearing that song everywhere, and I love it. I
yeah.
love it. Skepta killed his verse on
Oh,
Toxic.
dude, Skepta was crazy. I did not expect that. Like, I saw Skepta was on the feature artist, and I was excited for everyone. Least excited for Skepta, which no dig at him. Everyone else was like A-listers, but hey, he might have had one of the best verses on this album, Loki, and like the one that fit the production and Cardi on that song the most. So shout out to Skepta, man. That's one of my favorite tracks off this album.
I'm right there with you. Future killed. I know we talked about Charge Them Hoes, but Trim was really good. I thought
Mm-hmm.
Travis was smooth. I don't really enjoy him too much on Philly, but on Crush, I enjoyed it. And as well as when he was on Wake Up Filthy, I liked.
Yeah.
I was kind of a little disappointed on what Uzi did when you heard that we were finally going to get an Uzi and Cardi collab. Really after Shooter was the last time we heard them together. Didn't really like it that much. I'm not gonna lie to you, but honestly, my surprise, I've really enjoyed the Young Thug and Ty Dolla $ign record on We Need All
Yeah.
the Vibes. I really enjoyed it. I don't know how a lot of people, I don't know how you feel about it, but I enjoyed those features in particular.
No, I did. I really did. I'm kind of with you with the Uzi one. Like, I feel like the first track, what was the first track with them? Let me see. I have it right here. No, it's not Jumpin'. Oh yeah, it is. And then Twin Trim. Okay, see, I think I like Jumpin' more just
Mm-hmm.
because I don't know, but personally, like I do like the Uzi features, but I think you're right. There was like a little bit of magic from both of those that was missing that we kind of felt from those earlier collaborations between the two. But yeah, I love the Young Thug feature too, the Ty Dolla $ign feature on We Need All the Vibes. Yeah, man, I really enjoy it. Again, I know 31 tracks is a lot, but I think Cardi made very good use of the hour and 17-minute runtime. And we got a lot of bangers out of this, man. Again, I don't think it's a perfect album, all jokes aside from how I opened this segment. But I think it's a really good album, man. And Cardi has a grip on hip hop, man. There's no other way to say it. Like he's influential and he will be regardless of what people think of him.
Yeah, and that's the biggest takeaway I've gotten from also hearing a lot of people's reviews of this project is it's definitely, I think me and you are at the cutoff age where like a lot of people older than us, from what I've heard and listened to their opinions on the project, this project isn't for them. This project isn't for them. And I think Cardi is now, I don't know, I don't want to say Cardi's not defining an era, but he's definitely a definitive artist in this new era of hip hop. That like you either like him or you don't. And
Yeah.
it seems that's separated a lot to do with age more than
Yeah.
anything.
He's polarizing as hell, man. You either love him or you hate him. Like that's just the way that I've always seen it for Playboi Carti. So yeah, I really enjoyed this album, man. I I don't know what else to add because I Am Music again. Maybe it was a little short of like the expectation or the hype, but not far off the mark, man. It was very well produced, and I got what I expected from Cardi. So
Me too. But I know we talked about mention it a little earlier, but I think I'm done hearing Uzi and Cardi together. I think that magic that they once had, I don't think it's there no more. And I think that kind of
mm,
time has passed, especially for those two together. So
yeah, I just feel like their sounds have changed so much over the years too that like I don't know if they could do something with I don't know the lane that they're both kind of in the sense of like I don't know like Playboi Carti kind of started doing the switching his voice thing and
It's
picking
also
more.
very punk rock, very punk
Yeah,
rock.
I mean, and not to say that Uzi hasn't. I mean, he's done full on rock songs with like "Bring Me the Horizon" and stuff. So, I mean, I'm sure there could still be some chemistry there, but yeah, definitely not their best songs on IM Music. Not horrible. I'm not gonna turn off the Uzi Playboi Carti songs when they come on, but yeah, definitely. Yeah, nothing compared to what we had on Playboi Carti self-titled and Die Lit. So
I don't know. I'm really enjoying this project, man. I really
I am
am.
too.
But that wraps up our Playboi Carti I Am Music review. If you liked it, please subscribe. You'll be able to see a couple of other album reviews that we have down below. We did The Weeknd, Hurry Up Tomorrow. We did Kendrick GNX.
Chromacopia.
We did some Chromacopia. We did some sexy songs for you. So if you're interested in any of those reviews, make sure to check the playlist and link down below. But speaking about music, I think it's time for our favorite part of the show. Mic check. Put you on.
Hey, that was pretty smooth.
No, it was. Considering it's been a few weeks since we've done it. Gage, I'm gonna let you take the lead here. Do you want to start with music or television TV shows?
Let's keep it with music, man. And if you don't mind, I'll go first. I'll keep it with the hip hop theme. I gotta give a shout out to a friend of the podcast and frequent guest, Mr. Jason Collins, for this one because I finally see the light, Jason. And my Put You On is Young Boy Never Broke Again, and his album More Leaks. And Jason, for the longest time, has been trying to get both of us on the Young Boy train, and with some varied success. You know, I started listening to him a little bit more, but the night, I think it was 2 weeks ago when the album came out, it was the same night the Tory Lanez album dropped, and checked the Tory Lanez album a little bit, saw that Young Boy dropped too, and I was like, all right, let's see what he's
let's see what Young Boy hitting for.
Yeah, let's see what Young Boy's got, man. You know, let's give Jason some props, and I listened to it. I love it, man. I just think the production's really cool, and I just like the cadence and a lot of the flows that Young Boy can find in these songs. So again, it's kind of like the Playboi album, where it's long. There's 20 tracks, but yeah, it's a Young Boy album, man. And if that's what you're into, I highly recommend this album to anyone who's looking for a cool hip hop record with nice production. And yeah, just
what are your favorite tracks
crazy...
out there?
Let's see. I'm gonna have to go
because I know it's a Young Boy project, so I know it's gonna be long as hell.
Yeah.
So give some people some highlights.
Yeah, I'll give you my top three. I'll give you Cutthroat, GD Galaxy, and Out My Mind.
Bet that.
Those are, I think, my three favorites. Yeah, there are a lot of good songs on this album, but I think those are the three that I would pick from.
Bet. Well, I guess I'll probably transition to the other side of the spectrum. For me, my Put You On song of the week is gonna be Nobody by Freddie Gibbs. It's a track that he dropped during Valentine's Day, but it was really only on YouTube. It was only on YouTube. But he finally did like a DSP release for it. So I already had it on my phone, but now I actually have it on Apple Music. Yeah, Gibbs is back in his rapping bag like he never left. Pretty dope track, if I do say so myself. But yeah, Nobody by Freddie Gibbs is my music choice of the week. And for movies and TV, I'm gonna recommend an anime. It's been a minute since I've recommended anime, but for me, it's gonna be the show. It's on Netflix, right? So it's not too hard to find. 25 episodes, so it's gonna be a decent watch. Like you're gonna have some stuff to binge, and luckily, the series is already complete. But the show is called Orb, and Orb on the Movements of the Earth, and basically, the show is about this. It's back. I don't want to say 1600s. It's really like 1400s, 1300s, like when the church was really prominent in the world. It's sort a little historical, but the show has to do with just the idea of like the Earth being the center of the universe, and it's a little bit of an anthology, but it's all connected. And so like you're gonna hear multiple stories, but in some way or some shape, it's gonna teach you about the like how the idea came to be that the Earth got disproven as being the center of the universe. Really, really dope anime. It's a little slow at first, but I think the dialogue, especially the character dialogue, is really, really great.
Gotcha.
So
I'm
Orb on
definitely
the
gonna add
movements
it.
of the Earth. Yeah, it's really, really good. It took like I watched the first two and I wasn't really sold on it. Then I got to like episode 3. I was like, oh, this is lit. Oh, okay. So
All right, I'm definitely gonna add it to my list and check it out because you've had some good recs for me recently. So
yes, sir, yes,
especially in the
sir.
anime category. So all right, man. Well, yeah, I'll keep I guess I'll switch it to the complete other side of the spectrum here, and you know, after football season ends, and right now in the basketball world, the Spurs are pretty down bad. Maybe we'll talk about that later, but it's hard for me to find something that like fulfills that like competitive like edge that I want in something. Like
Oh, I know
there's just
exactly the
something,
show you're about to say. I know the exact show you're about to say.
and you know, this is it's really weird show for me because I don't like doing
Yep, I
this.
know the
I like
exact show. I know the exact show you're gonna talk
it's
about.
called
It's
Next
this
Level Chef.
okay, okay.
What show? What show did you think
Yeah,
I
I
was
was
talking
thinking.
about?
I thought you were thinking about Rising Point on Netflix, the basketball show.
No,
I've not seen
I
it
haven't
yet,
seen that. No, I
but
haven't
it's
seen it
not about
either.
Rising Point. Keep going, keep going. Sorry, pardon me,
Okay,
pardon me.
yeah. So my show is Next Level Chef, and I'm sure I've probably talked about it on this podcast before. It's in its 3rd season, and basically it's just a Gordon Ramsay like cooking competition where you have a top level where they have the nicest kitchen ingredients. You've got the bitchin' ovens, all of the cool pots and pans, all that shit. You got a middle level where it's all the average stuff, and then a basement where all the shit is ass. You have to cook with like horrible ingredients, and you have to cook your way back to the top. It's really intense. It's cool. It's fun. It's just something to get me through the depression that post football season provides in my life. So yeah, and again, I'm not into cooking. I like eating, I guess. I'm a little picky. So yeah, it is kind of weird that I just like found myself watching the show, but I don't know. I'm hooked, dude. It's interesting. I don't know what else to say.
I'm not mad at you. I'm not mad at you for that idea. You're right. That doesn't seem like your type of bag at all.
At all. But
Yeah,
hey, you know what? Sometimes you find something you enjoy when you're not looking for it. But
exactly. And that's the whole point of Put You On, is where we put you guys on to what we've been watching and listening to recently. So if you like Put You On, comment down below and put us on to some of the stuff that you've been watching and listening to. And maybe we'll watch it. Probably end up
yeah,
watching it because we need stuff to watch. But
yeah.
next
Or
up,
if you've seen any of the things we've put you on to, tell us whether it was good or not. Was it worth putting you on to? Let us know.
yeah, exactly. Well, with this next topic, I don't think we have to put you guys onto it. It's some more wrestling. You guessed it. And we're in our favorite time of the year where it's WrestleMania season. And we thought it'd be a really cool idea to fantasy book WrestleMania 41. We're not going to do the whole card, but we're probably going to do a couple matches from night 1 and night 2 and who we'd want to see. So, Gage, start us off, man.
Well, dude, we have to start with the moment that broke the internet, the wrestling moment that shocked everybody. People who weren't even wrestling fans were like, what? What just happened? And that, of course, is John Cena turning heel and him turning his back on the WWE universe, beating up Cody Rhodes alongside Travis Scott, which hilarious, by the way. We'll get into that too.
Travis Scott smacked the shit out of him, bro.
He smacked the hell out of him. He broke his eardrum and gave him a black eye. So, yeah, Cody's gonna have to get back on Travis Scott. And
Cody got to get his lip back.
So you know what? Actually, let's get started with that right now. Let's get that out of the way. Everyone's going to be talking about the Travis Scott thing first. Apparently, the rumor is Travis has been training for a match. I don't know if this is true or not, but if that is the goal, to have a Travis Scott celebrity match, there's another celebrity who's done a lot of WWE training, and I think would be a huge pop. And that, of course, is the Latin pop sensation Bad Bunny coming to WrestleMania and teaming up with Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns, or I don't know, figure out who the third person is going to be. But they're going against John Cena and Travis Scott. Cody and Bad Bunny are going to get their lick back. What do you think?
Honestly, I'm not mad at the idea. I do think they're gonna have a celebrity match this year. Because when was the last time we had one? Was Bad Bunny the last one? Or was it
Yeah, I
Snoop?
think
Which one
so.
came first, Bad Bunny or Snoop? I think it was Bad Bunny, right?
Yeah, Bad Bunny, I think, was the last one because he was in Puerto Rico last year. Snoop Dogg was Mania last
WrestleMania
year.
39, yeah.
So,
No,
yeah,
Snoop
I
Dogg
think it
was
was Bad
Mania.
Bunny.
Yeah, Bad Bunny came first. Or it was the last one. That was way over a year ago. Way over a year ago. Might have been two,
Yeah.
actually.
Well, unless you count when Tyrese Halliburton and Jalen Brunson.
That was lit, though. That was it. That don't count, but that was lit. The next one I would have to say, I'm not mad. I'm gonna use the same premise, right? A tag team. But instead of Travis Scott and Bad Bunny, I'm gonna say we're gonna go with the biggest tag team match ever. It's John Cena and The Rock against Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns. Yep. But respectively,
Okay.
the two representatives of their era. Like the 2 and 2. I mean, you could say that The Rock and Cena aren't really in the same era because Rock came before, but you would say as far as pillars of the company, those are the two faces. And now that Cody Rhodes has kind of taken the John Cena babyface kind of mantle, the same way Roman took The Rock's head of the table and ran with it. I love the parallel between the two. That's my pick.
Man, look at you, booking like
Yeah.
a real wrestling,
Come on,
fan.
man.
I actually fuck with it, man. I think that'd be a really cool concept, very cinematic, very a lot of chances to do like some real cool stuff with the shots of Rock and Roman in the ring, Rock and Cena teaming up is a weird dynamic. Roman and Cody teaming up is a weird dynamic too. So yeah, I'm all for that, man. But ultimately, I think we have to talk about what John Cena is trying to do. And John Cena now, after the heel turn, because he won the Elimination Chamber, which gives him the opportunity to go against Cody or Gunther, which I'm assuming is going to be Cody, obviously. Mm-hmm. John Cena is going to try to go for the record and win his, I think, 17th World Championship and break the record. Do you think he does it against Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania?
I think he does it. I think now is the time for Cena to get 17. I love the way they're doing it. Finally let him be heel. I saw his press conference, or not his press conference, but his promo against Cody in Spain. Was it Spain? No, Belgium, pardon me. In Belgium today when we were recording, I thought it was amazing. Everyone thought maybe Cena's going to get a new haircut, new music, new everything. No. He didn't get none of that. He came up to just booze, and I loved it. I love his promo. He basically did a PG version of "Fuck Them Kids," where he pointed to a kid in the crowd, saying even he sucks, even he is part of the problem, which I loved. And I think now's the time to give him that title. The same way that WWE really pushed Roman to have the longest streak ever with a title, I think they're gonna finally crown Cena with that. With 17 over Ric Flair, even though Ric Flair technically has the most because of what happened before WWE. But I think that official record is going to be Cena's. And I do think Cena's going to hold it for a little bit, not super long, because I feel like Cena's the type that he's definitely stated it too, being in the business so long, that he wants to go out whenever he decides to go out, which I think will be when his last match, when he gives up the belt. He's going to put somebody over, whether that be Cody more time or it be somebody else, LA Knight. but it's gonna be something. It's gonna be
Can we
something.
stop with the LA Knight? It's just like
Never,
it's not happening,
never,
dude. It's not.
never.
No, we love LA Knight on this channel, but hey. All right. Well, let's look on the other side of this for the other world champion, because let me ask you what you think of before. There's no really fantasy booking here, but how do you feel about Jey Uso? I feel like a lot of people have kind of turned on Jey Uso after he's won the Rumble. Oh, I mean, I feel like he's had his haters even going into the Rumble, and the fact that he beat John Cena and now he's challenging Gunther, a lot of people are just kind of tired of it. How do you feel about Jey Uso?
I how do I say this? I think I vehemently disagree with you. I think he's so over right now. The same way, in a different way that LA Knight was over last year. I think he's the most over superstar in the company at the moment. And I think they're gonna do a similar situation like they did with Sammy and Gunther. Last year, they're gonna do it with Jey. Because I think for the longest time we had right-hand man, main event Jey Uso, really for the past 3-4 years. And he's done nothing to prove that he's a superstar. He's put in the work and he's cultivated the fan base for people to actually give a fuck in him. And I think it's time to reward him. Whether Jey is one of those wrestlers that he's better chasing the belt than actually winning and holding on to it remains to be seen. But I think now's the time to definitely give him a shot and at least holding it.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm with you. I think there is definitely a time to do it, and WrestleMania is the perfect time. You get that moment the same way Kofi and Daniel Bryan did. These guys are just so over, and Gunther is that unstoppable force right now. So, yeah, I could definitely see it, man. Yeet.
Yeet.
Yeah. I know. Shout out Dylan. Dylan's least favorite wrestler right now is Jey Uso. I don't get it. I mean, like, okay, maybe a little, but like, I don't know. Like you said, Jey Uso is just so over, man, and the kids love him. He makes a lot of money for the company. It's good business to have him near that headliner of your pay-per-view. But Ethan, we talked about.
No,
sorry,
I also
was
going to add to the Jey situation that I feel like in some way I'm interested to see how they somehow include Jimmy into this story. Because I'm a really like how, because they have him chasing the U.S. title against LA Knight, who recently won it. So I wouldn't be surprised if they give both of them some titles. Jimmy finally gets a solo title in the U.S. title, and Jey gets the world heavyweight. So we'll see.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna ask you. So, like, I think we're both kind of in agreement that the Cena, Cody thing is maybe gonna main event one of the nights. Technically, it's supposed to be the Royal Rumble winners, which would be Jey Uso and Tiffany Stratton, Charlotte. So is it just weird? I guess it's just kind of weird to me because there's more intrigue in the matches that don't involve the Royal Rumble winner to me. Because the Jey Gunther thing, we talked about it. There's more intrigue for me in the John Cena and Cody storyline. And then on the other side in the women's, like, I love Tiffany Stratton, but I don't know. There's not much there for me in the Charlotte Tiffany storyline, whereas Io just won the belt off Rhea, which was completely a shock. The fact that Rhea dropped the belt to Io on Monday Night Raw was crazy, because now that sets up Io versus Bianca at WrestleMania, and Rhea has nothing to do at the moment.
I think today, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think they Rhea signed the paperwork, so it's a triple threat. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think they signed it today.
That's what I figured, because like when I had seen her lose the belt, I was like, she's gonna get her rematch clause. And
it is that. So. It's Rhea Bianca versus Io.
Dude, that match is gonna be so fucking good. You have no idea. Rhea Ripley, Io arguably, Sky, and Bianca.
Bro, the three out of the 4 best female wrestlers in the company in one match. Like, yeah. Besides Liv, I think those are the 3 best. Which brings up an interesting discussion. Is like, not that I feel bad for Liv, because honestly, I think if you had to put a female wrestler as MVP of 2024, 2025, I put it as Liv. What she's done ever since coming back from injury, chef's kiss, chef's kiss. And I think she's answered the call that she is a superstar in that company. I'm just interested. I really just don't care what she's doing with the tag team belts with her and Raquel. I just don't care. I just wish. I wish there was another storyline that she could be involved with. But I'm glad they're taking a break for whatever she's doing with Rhea. I really do.
Yeah, it's a good and a bad problem to have. That you just have so many talented wrestlers on the roster, and some of them are just going to get left off the card. Like, we're still seeing developments in the Jade Cargill and Naomi storyline too, which should have some effect on Bianca, I guess, heading into the next couple of weeks. And the men's roster also suffers the same problem, bro. There are going to be a lot of wrestlers, a lot of good wrestlers who are left off the WrestleMania card. And that's just the unfortunate. But before we go from the wrestling topic, is there one wrestler or a match that you would like to see at WrestleMania that we didn't talk about?
That we didn't talk about? I'm trying to think. Honestly, because I think Jimmy is going to defeat LA Knight at some point. I think I'm ready. I don't know if it's before Mania, but I want to see them plant the seeds of either do something with LA Knight when it comes to a world title shot, because I think he's done great with the United States Championship. I'm happy that Montez, what's his name? Montez Ford and what's the other gentleman's name that won the tag team belts?
Montez Ford and Dawkins.
Montez Ford and Dawkins. I'm happy they won the tag
Angela
belts.
Dawkins, yeah, Angela Dawkins.
Angela Dawkins, you're right. I want to see what they're gonna do with what's his name from Judgment Day? I haven't thought about him for so long.
Are you talking about
Finn Balor?
What's his name?
I want to see what they do with Finn. I want to see what they do with
for you, buddy.
I don't know if I've kept up too much with it, but they really it feels like ever since that betrayal, kicking Rhea out, and Damian, I feel like nobody's really cared about that whole storyline, what they're doing with Judgment Day.
So if I'm not mistaken, I believe Dominic interfered in Finn had a championship match with Braun Breaker, I think, on Raw, and Dominic interfered, caused Finn the match, and there's going to be some tension there. So I don't know if Finn's going to leave the Judgment Day, or if they're just going to split up. I don't know. There's a lot of directions that this is headed, but to me, it has to do with those mid-card championships, and I'm going with the Braun Breaker, who his next challenger is probably going to be his WrestleMania opponent because he's so over right now. And I'm, of course, talking about Penta. Penta coming to WWE was one of the coolest things as a wrestling fan. And if you've seen Penta wrestle, you could just see why. Like, it's just so exciting. Same thing with Braun Breaker, man. Braun Breaker is an absolute stud. The nephew of Scott Steiner, if you're an old wrestling fan. And yeah, dude, I love both of their styles. Lucha Libre with Penta, and SmackDown also teased that his teammate from AEW, Rey Fenix, is on his way. And that's really cool for me, because they're both going to be on separate brands. So like they're going to get to build up to when they finally get to tag with each other or go against each other. And you know how much I love my Lucha Libre.
That's lit. That's lit, because you're right. You put me onto Penta early. And honestly, as far as the luchadors that have come in WWE of recent, I've enjoyed him very much in the small bits that I've seen him. So that's a good choice. Well, that right there is our WrestleMania 41 fantasy booking. We're definitely going to talk more about WrestleMania because it's coming up soon in the next 3-4 weeks. So you'll definitely hear us give more thoughts on it, especially when more developing storylines come. But if you like that so far, make sure to like and subscribe and comment on the video. Next up, I feel like into our last segment or ish of the show, it's time to talk about the NBA, and more specifically, how terrible the NBA coverage has been of recently. Because we've had the debate earlier, especially in last season, that like, oh, is the NBA falling off? Is nobody's caring? I don't think, or is the product bad? And I think we have our answer. I think the NBA product is the best that it's ever been. I truly believe that, especially when it comes to the different styles and different ways that teams can win. I think it's the most parity and variety that we've ever had. But how the NBA is talked about, especially by our high level and professional commentators that we see on ESPN and Fox Sports, it sucks, man. It's really, really terrible. And it's not to really bash them too much for what they've done for the sport, because they've done good, right? But I think of recently, really the past 6 or 7 years, it's definitely lacking. And I want to speak specifically to inside the NBA. Inside the NBA is one of the greatest sports talk shows ever. But I think we're starting to realize it's not because of their analysis of the NBA. It's not. It's really because of their chemistry that they have with each other more than anything. But at the same time, I feel like fans they're craving analysis, especially from these big mainstream platforms. And to hear Charles Barkley complain about the Lakers and the Knicks, and hear Shaq really shit on the Pistons, even though he doesn't watch it, it's kind of annoying that this is what they're using their platform for, especially being former players that supposedly know more than, not supposedly, that know more than me and you and the average person that watches the NBA. This is what they choose to do with the platform, is to really shit on the product. I think it's lame.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, man. Because like all those things you said are accurate, especially the Shaq comments just really threw me off. Of like, he's saying the Pistons are trash, and then proceeds to say that he doesn't even watch them. The Pistons are a solid team. They're not going to win a championship this year. Let's just be 100% honest. But dude, they're a lot better than they have been in like 10, 12 years. And sometimes that's all that Pistons fans want to see. You don't have to shit talk every team that isn't a championship contender. It just makes the league look bad. And I mean, we could even track it back to the All-Star game where everyone's shit talking the All-Star game, bro. You're not helping your product when some of the biggest names, your own players, your own Hall of Famers, your own analysts are just going up there and trashing your league. It doesn't happen in the NFL. It doesn't happen in the MLB. Like, bro, they need to understand, if they want to see the growth in basketball,
they have to highlight it.
They have to highlight it. They can't just keep saying, oh, it's just the big market teams that we care about, or it's just the teams that are in championship contention. That's not the way it should work, bro. Every team has fans, and are fans going to stop going to games even though they're out of the playoffs? Like, are Jazz fans still going to games? Probably. Maybe not as many as when they were winning games and when they were popular. Surely not as much as when they were winning games and when they were popular, but there's still people who care about it, bro. And I don't know, for the people who like really do put all of their effort into basketball, like one of my favorite content creators on YouTube is Kenny Beecham, man, King of the Fourth Quarter. Yeah. He's been doing basketball content for years. He loves it for the sport, man. He doesn't care about the big markets. He's a Bulls fan, but talks about every single team, addresses all of the storylines in basketball. And, that's the way I want, my mainstream media to look. Someone who genuinely cares about it, who's, trying to give more platform to these players and help the league grow, not hold it down, because that just seems like what Shaq and Charles Barkley and I don't know, anyone who's like again, I should say that criticism for a league is completely valid. We should be criticizing the NBA for some of the things. It is impossible to watch NBA games if you do not have League Pass, and I think that is a problem. Like, it's just not accessible to a lot of people, and that's one of their biggest problems. But there's a way about addressing these things, especially as a professional on a set, talking about these things, that you just have to handle it more professionally. And none of
Yeah.
these guys have been doing it, bro. It's
No,
rough.
no. And then you were talking about Shaq. I'm going to talk about Barkley and the way he was talking about the Lakers. And it's not even like, because I agree with him overall when it comes to like, all we do is talk about the Lakers and the Cowboys and the Yankees. But specifically with the Lakers, he acts as if the Lakers this season had the expectation of winning a title. No, they didn't. But the Lakers are also the most popular team in the sport. And so obviously shows like Inside the NBA, like First Take, are going to talk about Lakers storylines. But shit on the Lakers to the effect of where they're just not even good, that's not true. The Lakers have been very, very solid this year, especially with first-time head coach JJ Redick. And then now when they're starting to look like on the precipice of being contenders, to be like, oh, well, they're not even good anyway. It's like, buddy, they've arguably been a top 3, top 4 team the second half of the NBA season. And it's like, you're not helping your point just because you don't like the Lakers. Like, that's not the way to do it. Because, people are going to talk about the Lakers when they pulled off the heist of the century to get Luka Doncic. Like, you're saying stuff that's obvious. And they're going to talk about the Lakers when they go, what did they were at one point, like on a 9-10 game winning streak? They're going to talk about the Lakers.
But bro, it would be the exact same thing if they lost 10 straight. Like, we would still be talking about the Lakers. Like,
but my thing is, then give credit when credit is due, because you're just coming off as a hater at that point, and that's not your job. You know what I mean? If you make a comment here and there, cool. But Chuck is having a full-blown meltdown about the Lakers succeeding, because now he actually has to talk about it. But Chuck, if you don't want to talk about the Lakers, you don't ever have to talk about them. It's your show. You don't have to lead with it. You guys have done it for so long. If you guys want to lead with OKC and the Thunder, take the floor. But you know why they can't lead with OKC or the Thunder talking about how great the regular season is? Because look at Shaq not having any clue what the Pistons are doing. When earlier in the season, when Cade was on the show, he was bigging up Cade for how well of a season he's doing. So it's either A, you were being fake to Cade and not watching the Pistons and him and how he performed and which is saying whatever on there, or B, you were hating on the Pistons now. Which one is it? And that's the issue I have. You know, because let's be honest, I appreciate the shows for what they are, but I stopped looking at these shows for analysis a long time ago, man. I really did.
Yeah. And I mean, that's that's honestly the way I've looked at sports media for a long time. Anytime I want analysis, I'm headed to YouTube. I think there are just so many like good content creators who give you analysis. And again, not to say that there isn't that on ESPN, but it's just not the shows that you really think of, like the First Takes and the Inside the NBAs. And those are more for entertainment. Those are more for just, sitting in a room and just talking shit with your friends. If we really want to get into numbers and statistics and help. Yeah.
But my thing is, I don't mind that, but I feel like that lane has definitely become oversaturated like crazy. Because I raise my hand, man. The way First Take has influenced my life, especially when it comes to my passion for sports, it cannot be quantified. So I'm not saying it to shit on it, right? But it even leads into our next point of like what happened between Stephen A and LeBron. Is that sometimes I feel like sports analysts and sports analysts and sports commentators need to realize that they're supporting actors at best. They're not the star of the show.
Yeah. And I'm glad we're talking about this because I got to stand up for my king, LeBron James, because Stephen A. Smith, he got a rude awakening because I think it was during a timeout or something too. LeBron walked up to him. If you haven't seen the video, I highly recommend. I think we could find it and put it on here, but if not, highly recommend going and finding it. LeBron just walks up to Stephen A. and gives him a little piece of his mind while, again, during a timeout in the middle of a game. And the next day, Stephen A. talks about it on it was on First Take or on his podcast?
It's on First Take.
It was on
At
First
first,
Take.
yeah,
Okay, well, yeah. So Stephen A. addressed it on First Take and said that it was regarding the comments he had made about Bronny earlier in the season, and I see a lot of people coming at LeBron saying, you know, he's just that Stephen A. is just doing his job, and I agree. I mean, I'm in the same field. I know Stephen A. has to make a living. LeBron is one of the biggest names in the game, but to me, I'm seeing it from LeBron's side of like, I think LeBron's telling Stephen A. Smith this because he thinks something of Stephen A. Smith. Like he thinks more of Stephen A. Smith than he does about a lot of these other reporters or people who are pundits who are talking about his son. Because again, the name Bronny James generates clicks. Let's just be honest. He is the son of LeBron James. So there are a lot of people who are going to talk shit about him. But LeBron doesn't expect that from Stephen A. because he just he knows,
yeah.
like at least that's the way I see it. I'm interested to hear what you think about it.
I'm gonna see this from 2 point of views, right? Because I'm gonna see this from first off, I feel like we should talk about the actual altercation in and of itself between LeBron and Stephen A. Smith. I have no issue with LeBron confronting Stephen A. Smith about what he said. Stephen A. Smith himself should have no issue about LeBron confronting him for 2 reasons. One, you've invited athletes who, if they ever have an issue with what you said about them, to talk to you about it. Because you also said that they can find your number, as well as you're at these games. You're at these professional games. They can see you courtside. So when you then hear so when Stephen A. then says that like, hey, it was a weak move for him to press him, stop it, Stephen A. That's corny as shit. Because you are the same guy that went on First Take, or you are the same guy that went on your show to say that LeBron's people in the past have tried to contact you behind the scenes that you weren't trying to hear it. So which one is it? So when he tried to handle it, his issue with you privately, you said you didn't want the phone call, you didn't want the conversation. But now that let's keep it up. Now that he presses you in public for something publicly that you said that was a little out of pocket, begging for LeBron James as a dad to stop this. When he does that courtside, you don't have no leg room or right to say that that's weak. You don't. Regardless of what you said, how you stood on business is corny. Then now to do a whole media tour, basically calling LeBron weak, even though whenever the very first take episode happened since the incident, you were damn near about to cry, talking about, I don't know why he has an issue with me. I was completely stunned. I didn't have anything to say. I know I'm paraphrasing, but that's what it came across as. And then now you're going on your podcast. You're going on Gilbert Arenas' podcast. You're going on Fox News, basically crying about how LeBron pressed you courtside of an NBA game. Like, that's the things we're talking about here. We're not saying that, like, yes, we're saying you need to have accountability, but at the same time, like, you also just need to, like, that it looked really nasty, bro. Let's keep it a buck. It looked really nasty because his specific comments about Bronny, right? I have no problem with people critiquing Bronny, or matter of fact, critiquing Braun about how he's handled this whole Bronny situation. I feel like there's valid criticisms. I'm not a parent, right? So take what I say with a grain of salt, or don't care for it at all. I don't care. But I feel like there's valid criticisms to how LeBron has like handled the situation with Bronny from the perspective of, I think it's really dope that Bronny and LeBron are playing with each other. But whenever you tweet things like, hey, I'm watching the NBA right now and Bronny's better than half of them, and then you also kind of not weasel, but you maneuver away for no other team should draft him at all and that he should only come to the Lakers, you're putting a big target on his back. And I think that's less to do with how Bronny feels about it and more to do with about him. So I think there's a valid criticism to be made about LeBron and how he's handled this situation, in my opinion. But to go on national TV talking about, I'm pleading with you as a father and all this stuff while having Bronny's like bloopers in the background. Bronny has every right to feel away. regardless if you think he's in the wrong or not. And I don't think Stephen A understands that. You can't hide behind journalistic integrity when you do stuff like that. That has nothing to do with journalism, bro.
Yeah, because I
Pleading
mean,
with
let's be
him as
real
a
here
father,
too.
that has nothing to do with it, bro.
Yeah, and I mean, again, let's just be real here. The only reason they're talking about Bronny James is because of the name Bronny James. Are they talking about any other second round picks on First Take ever? No,
No, but
never.
I'm gonna push back. But I'm gonna push back with you on that. I'm gonna push back with you on that. You're right. Nobody ever talks about Bronny James as nobody talks about second round picks the way they talk about Bronny James. You're absolutely right. Bronny James does not become a second round pick if he doesn't have that name. That's my only thing. I'm with you, but he can't have it both ways. You can't get into the league because of that name. Because let's be honest, that's how he got in. Because he had that terrible accident, heart attack that was terrible, right? And I have sympathy for it. But if he was any other player, he does not become a second round pick.
Yeah, I
So
mean,
you can't
hey,
have it. You can't have it. You can't. And I do think the way Bronny has shown flashes of being a quality NBA player. But not every second round talent is afforded that luxury that he has because he has the name Bronny James. And I'm not blaming Braun too much for doing that. But you cannot have it both ways. You cannot say that nobody is talking about any other second round pick like Bronny, but not reflect and notice the fact that if Bronny didn't have that name, he would not be a second round pick. He would not be a draft pick at all, based on how his college and high school situation turned out.
I mean, yeah, I guess that's a fair criticism, and I mean, we've talked about that even when Bronny was drafted. That there was always going to be that, but I mean, there's always nepotism in the NBA. I mean, people they get you in, and I really don't see the big difference between being drafted in the second. They didn't use a first round pick on him. That would have been crazy. But like the second round pick where they're picking, it's a flyer basically. This would have been the same thing as taking him as an undrafted free agent and putting him on the G League, because that's exactly what he's doing. He's playing in the G League. So like there's no reason to be talking about this kid because there's no impacts. He's not doing shit anyways.
I hear you, but again, but when you name, it's just naivety, bro. Like when you name him LeBron James Jr., when you have him play basketball, when you draft him to your own team being LeBron James, this is what comes with it. This is what comes with it. And to now like act victim is a little disingenuous, you know what I mean? Because I'm with him in how he feels. He has every right to press Stephen A if he feels that way as a parent. But like, I just think it's weird, man. Like you doing this. I don't know. Again, I'm not a father, so take what I have to say with a grain of salt. But like, it's just weird. Imagine if you're working at a company, right, and you see the CEO like press somebody for saying something to his son who also works at the company, but he wouldn't do that for anybody else. That's weird. That's really weird. Like I get it, it's the father, but I don't know. That dynamic is just, I don't know. I don't think it's best for a team, and I think we're seeing why. This, but again, this is just how I feel about it. I feel like it goes to my point. I feel like this has become a little too much about Braun than it is about Bronny.
Yeah, I think it's fair, but I don't know on this and this one. Maybe that's just the Glazer in me, but I'm sticking LeBron on this side, man. It's I don't know. Like I said, I think I understand where he's coming from. It was more from a father, more of a personal standpoint of why he why he pressed Stephen A. So, yeah, interesting stuff in the NBA, man. And is there anything else in the NBA in the association that you want to talk about?
No, I'm just excited for the playoffs. The playoffs are coming soon. I want to see. Speaking about Bronny and Braun, I'm excited to see how my Lakers do. Hopefully, Braun comes back from injury well, so I can see White Jesus back in the playoffs. But no, that's pretty much it, bro.
My Lakers.
Excited to talk NFL draft soon. See what my Chiefs do too.
My Chiefs, my Lakers. Oh my God. I don't know.
My Shayla,
can you
Shayla.
Go? No, I might need you to go back to being a Cowboys and a Mavericks fan. I think I liked you better.
Too late.
Oh man.
But I think that's it for the show today, man. We talked about a bunch of stuff. We talked about Carti's album. We talked WrestleMania. We talked NBA. I'm pretty happy with all the bases we covered.
Yeah, absolutely. And if we missed anything, make sure you let us know in the comments what you want to hear us talk about in the next episode. Maybe we'll get to it. Make sure it's good. All right. And Ethan, I think this is the part where we sign out and tell the people y'all should subscribe to this channel. Make sure you follow
Almost
Ethan.
200.
Hey, yeah, help us get to 200 on YouTube. That'd be awesome. We appreciate that so much. Make sure you follow Ethan on Instagram, on Twitter. You can follow me on Instagram, on Twitter. We're going to have all the channels, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok links below. And if you like this episode, just make sure you leave a like, share it with a lover, share it with a friend.
You already know what it is. The young Rottweiler, Ethan Hamilton. It's 007 Gage Sutton. We out this beach. Peace.
Peace.